Well, there have been more reactions now within the political arena over the Lagos LG election. Some of the conversations raising questions about local government administration in Nigeria. So tonight, we shall be hearing from some of the political parties who participated in the exercise and the issues raised on the process. I have joining me from Ikeja area, the chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, in Lagos, Mr. Babatunde Balogun. And here in the Lagos studio is the chairman of the Young Progressive Party, YPP, Olatunbosun Bolarinwa, and virtually is a candidate of the PDP in the election, Olumide Thompson. He ran for the chairmanship of Etiosa local government area. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming on tonight. This is perhaps one of the most important conversations that needs to be had in Nigeria's politics, because the grassroots governance is about local government, and the local government elections is very critical to local government administration. So let's get talking. But I think we should begin with Mr. Balogun, the APC chairman in Lagos. I must say congratulations to you, Mr. Balogun. Your party swept all the seats for the chairmanship in Lagos, 57 of them, the LCDAs and the 20 LGAs. Well, let's begin this conversation. Would you say, Mr. Balogun, that this exercise is free and fair?
Yeah, the exercise largely has been peaceful, free, fair, and transparent. There have been almost no incidents that have been reported, apart from the fact that everything went freely. The day was even good. Nature was good. It was a sunny day. Everybody was able to go to their various stations, and all those who came out were able to vote. They cast their votes, and of course, LASEC must be commended for putting in place a very smooth arrangement for good conduct of election. It was good, it was free, it was also credible.
Swept, I mean, this is not, it's not strange to you because the APC in Lagos has had this kind of a history in local government election. For you, are you comfortable with that kind of situation as a politician? But it does look like locally it's a one-horse race.
First of all, I must say that the results of the election have been very exciting to me. It's been rewarding for our hard work in galvanizing and mobilizing people to come and vote. It has also been something that had made me proud. This is one of my big moments in politics. We won all the chairmanship seats in the 20 local government and the 37 LCDAs. Of course, you must know that there has not been a real formidable opposition from the other parties. We want the opposition to brace up, try to fight harder so that they can meet us and fight us on a level playing ground. We want them to be more, we want them to really meet us and fight elections the way it should be fought. Of course, we are putting a lot of arrangements. We have been able to do things as they should be done. We organize rallies, we mobilize our people, we galvanize them, and we were ready for election. We don't do things halfway. We take everything as it comes, and I must say we work assiduously for all this achievement we had today.
Let me bring in a man who put his heart in the ring and also who ran in this election. Olumide Thompson is also speaking for his political party, the PDP. Olumide, thank you for coming tonight. And let me get your view on the exercise. How would you assess the process? You lost out in that seat. You ran in the Etiosa local government area for your party, PDP. What's your assessment of the exercise?
Well, yesterday, July 24th, 2021, was the day of two tales. We experienced the absolute worst Nigeria had to offer. At the same time, we saw the best of Nigeria. We experienced a situation in which people like me, young people, came out with hope and the audacity to stand for a better Nigeria. But we were faced with intimidation, thuggery, and the likes. I couldn't quite hear what Mr. Balogun had to say. I was hoping to hear that so I could then respond accordingly. But it was definitely not a free and fair election. That much I know, and that much has been seen.
I mean, when you mentioned a few issues here. You said thuggery, intimidation. What exactly do you mean? What did you experience?
I, for instance, in a few polling units in Iru, Victoria Island, the election process or electoral process states that counting will be held at counting will be done at the polling units and then moved to the collation center before it's moved to the final collation center, should we say. In my situation, it went straight from the polling units without being counted to the local government council. On arrival at the council, we were told we could not go in. Those that finally got in were chased out. Even me, as the local government chairman candidate, my collation officer was not allowed into the council. So as I speak to you today, we hear that our candidate of the APC has been declared the winner, but I can't tell you what my results are officially. I don't know what they are, but they say she's been declared the winner.
Would you say you are? Yeah. Olumide, would you say you're as popular as your opponent? Would you say you're as popular as your opponent in your local government area, your opponent in the APC?
Well, I don't want to make this personal, but I think the writing is on the wall, the way Nigeria is and how things are heading. And I think if you put in the work, you get to see your results. I know I put in the work, and it's clear with the populace how things went. I would not say more than that.
But for your political party, this is your own personal experience of how you lost out in the race. But for your party is perhaps the major opposition in Lagos. But then this is what you've gotten, no seats at all. I don't know whether you got any of the councillorship seats. Is it that your party is yet again in the shadow of the APC in Lagos?
Well, the election was not a level playing field at all. We're not even given a chance to show what we're capable of doing as a party or as candidates. I mean, one thing I know for sure that the People's Democratic Party in this election had a transformational change in terms of which it became very inclusive. 90% of the candidates, 90% were below the age of 40. That's a huge statement on how they want to move forward as a party. We, as the youth, as they say, 70% of the population, alone have 70% of the voters with us. So you can imagine what we're bringing to the table. We're not being allowed to even prove our worth as the young Nigerians. I mean, Lagos is suffering for it.
Let me bring Olatunbosun Abolarinwa. Mr. Abolarinwa is the YPP chairman in Lagos. Thank you so much, Mr. Abolarinwa, for coming on today.
Thanks so much.
Give me a sense of your own experience in YPP in yesterday's exercise. How would you assess the elections of yesterday?
It wasn't an election. It was a disaster for democracy in Nigeria. Let me just put it that way. And before I do that, I think our case is a little bit better than that of PDP because we have a candidate to congratulate at Orile Ward D. So I want to use this opportunity to congratulate Comrade Tunde Afolabi for the landslide victory at Orile Ward D. Congratulations. Now, coming back to our experience.
Okay, yeah. So go ahead, because when you say it was a disaster, So, but it's one of your candidates emerged in that disaster.
Yeah. It emerged sometime in the middle of something bad, something good happened.
Okay.
And but I must be sincere to Nigerian and Nigerian youth as a whole and Nigerian populace that the type of election that Mr. Babatunde Balogun called a credible, laudable, free and fair election is not the type of election we want to live for the youth of Nigeria. The election where, how can we refer to an election where a whole political party was disenfranchised from a ballot paper free and fair? So on a ballot paper of election in Lagos State, a registered party, Young Progressive Party, my party, did not appear on the ballot paper in more than 5 local governments. While a direct...
Local government areas are this?
I may not be able to tell you that on top of my head, but I know that Ikotun Idemo is one of them. I know that Shomolu is one of them. And Ichire Surulere is one of them. This ballot paper, our logo was not there. And we are registered. Whereas a young party that has been deregistered was on the ballot paper. How do we call that free and fair?
Let's get, I'm not trying to cut into what your line of thought, but I just want our viewers to understand what you're talking about. I was in Shomolu yesterday where I covered the elections there.
Yeah.
If we can put up that film of the ballot paper and steal it so that maybe viewers can understand what Mr. Bolaniwa is talking about. So, in other areas, your party logo and name was on the ballot.
Yes.
In some other areas,
it wasn't on the ballot.
So, but okay, so that's what we're talking about, isn't it?
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, if you can steal it, steal that image, so our viewers can get a sense of what he's talking about. Okay, so we have 4 political parties there.
Yeah.
So that's Accord, if I can get it. The first one, APC, PDP, then Youth Party.
Which is a party that has already been deregistered by the INEC.
So this is in Shomolu?
This is in Shomolu.
Okay, so in other areas like Victoria Island, Ikeja, your party logo was there?
Yeah.
Okay. So if your party logo was not in Itire, or where was it that you won the councillorship seat?
Yes.
You wouldn't have won anyways.
You wouldn't have won.
Okay, so did you lay the complaint?
We laid the complaint, and that became a serious tug of war entirely. The candidate for local government chairmanship in Shomolu, Comrade Shegun Aluta, was the first person to discover this in Shomolu, and he approached the LISEC official that, why is our party logo not there? They told him that it's nothing to do with them, he should proceed to the LISEC office. He proceeded to the LISEC office only for us to hear that he's been arrested for bringing thugs to the LISEC office. So that is the point of our complaint. He was directed by the LISEC official at the polling unit to go and lay the complaint on the day of election, while election is already being casted. He was asked to proceed to LISEC office to go and complain that our name did not, our party name, Young Progressive Party, is not on the ballot paper, and he got arrested.
Did he go with anybody?
He did not go with anybody. He went there on his own. He went alone. But when his mates, his colleagues, his people did not see him come out, they went there to find out exactly what is happening, only for us to discover that he was detained by LISEC, and the police were contacted to pick him up.
Has he been released as of now?
He has not been released. We've made contact with the policing authority. They say they want to carry out a preliminary investigation into the matter in order for them to know whether an offense has taken place. Up to now, I don't know what offense, but we've reached out to the policing authority.
So I'll let you know from what the commissioner of police said to us when he was asked the question yesterday, and I'd like you to respond to it. Let's listen to Mr. Hakeem Odumosu, the Lagos State Commissioner of Police, on the arrest of the YPP candidate when he visited the LASEC office.
No, he was arrested at the local government at Lagos State Electoral Commission office. He has no business there. So he went there with some people now to protest. According to information available to me, he said his name was not on the ballot paper also. but not on the list there. But that one is a party affair. So if somebody's name does not appear, it's the party that submits name. Because from the voters list now, nobody's name is there. It's party logos that you have there. So not individual candidate's name, it's party. So if the party has not forwarded its name now to them now, it's supposed to go and do its protest at the party headquarters, within the party, and not at the LASEC. LASEC is for all the parties in Lagos State, not only for one party. For him to have gone there now with the intention now of disrupting the election, he has violated electoral regulation. So that is why he was arrested. So I've been investigated. So at the state CID party, from there now, I'll be charged to court accordingly.
That's the explanation of the Commissioner of Police. Your reaction to that?
My reaction to that is that I think it is now clear to me where the police seems to have gotten it wrong. It is not the personal name of Mr. Segun Adelano that he went to protest. As you showed to the world now, it is the fact that the old party name and logo did not appear on the ballot paper. The only person, the only authority that can respond to that, rectify that, and make people to be able to see our logo and vote for us were LASEC. We have it on record that it was a LASEC official that actually told him to proceed to LASEC to lay his complaint. So this is nothing, it's got nothing to do with his name. It's not his personal name. Our party name, party logo, like he rightly said, that it is about party. But it is not the name of Mr. Segun Adelana Aluta that was excluded from the party list. It was the complete logo of the party that was deleted off the ballot paper, while we could see visibly a party that has been really deregulated, that has been delisted from practicing political activities being on the ballot paper. Anybody will want to query that, and I think the LASEC official that directed Mr. Segun Adelano to go and complain at LASEC office did the right thing, and I think he should be called to question.
So what is your party doing about this?
Our party is still looking at the situation. We apologize to most of our members, our electorate that went out with the aim of voting for us. This is not our fault. It is what the type of politics that is being practiced in Lagos that we are seeing. And we're still considering all the options on the table to see how this election can be recalled, cancelled, and possibly rerun. A registered party cannot be deregistered by a state electoral commission. It is an electoral fraud for that to happen, and that needs to be rectified in order for us to talk about the type of free and fair election that we want to hand over to the generation to come that Mr. Babatunde Balogun is talking about.
All right. Let me get back to the APC chairman. This is an election where most of your candidates emerged victorious. But the allegations, you heard what Olumide Thompson said about his party, intimidation, thuggery. These are allegations and fingers pointing at your party. How do you react to this, Mr. Balogun?
Yeah, first of all, we must realize that it is unfortunate that when politicians lose election, they will look for one excuse or the other. They want to look for faults and so on. Even at the highest level, the US presidential election took place in 2020, and you could see the former president, Trump, shouting all over the place, talking about rigging when the election was well conducted. A very good system was put in place. Because he could not have his way, he could not win, he gave a lot of excuses, flimsy excuses. What I know is that every party that participates in election, each election, it has a right to have an agent, polling agent, and an agent for collation. He can't tell me that he didn't have an agent for collation. He was not deprived. His agent was supposed to be wherever the counting took place. So why they didn't have agent there is something that I don't understand. You must have your agent. And nobody has any right to stop your agent from checking and collating election and witnessing. Of course, all the agents must sign before the results are given out to LASIEC and other authorities. So all parties are expected to provide an agent, not only for voting. They are supposed to provide for those who will collate results, who will be at the point where the final collation is made. So why he didn't have his own agent there is still a mystery to us. And with what happened yesterday, if you make allegations, I want us to substantiate such allegations. You don't just make excuses. Now, like I said, when politicians are roundly and squarely defeated, they will look for one excuse or the other. Check out the results of this election. It is incredible the way the results went and the election went and the results came out. Besides, I must congratulate YPP as a party for daring to even come out. They've made a point. They made a statement by coming out there. I congratulate them for that, and it's good. It's good for democracy. But to give unnecessary excuses which are baseless, it's unfortunate that has to happen. It's the election that took place peacefully. If
Mr.
there were
Balogun,
incidents,
yeah,
I don't think we have anything. Yes,
yeah.
sir.
If, for example, I'm looking at the implications of some of the things that happened yesterday. On one hand, I wanted you to react to the fact that they are alleging that your party intimidated them and harassed them out of the arena yesterday. That's which I wanted to...
Our party didn't do what?
That your party harassed them out of the arena and also intimidated them out of the arena. There are cases of broken bottles, machetes being drawn in places like Shomolu. But what is a big issue here that I'd like you to respond to is perhaps the implication of the election in Shomolu and about 2 or 3 other areas where Mr. Bolari was said the party logo is not present. Do you fear or are you worried about the possible legal implications if a political party is omitted or exempted in a race which you have won?
Thank you. I don't see any fault of APC. We have an umpire that is supposed to provide all this, not the APC. I hope it's not expecting that to come from the APC, whether their logo is somewhere or not. Without their logo, they were able to win, like it claimed now, a councillorship seat somewhere. It shows the fairness of the system. And I expect if they have lost in any other way or in any other place, it's a continuous process. Wait for another time and come back stronger. Come out stronger than what you have done so far. That's what I feel.
Let me quickly go to Mr. Thompson, and I'd like you to speak on, because there are implications of yesterday's election on the generality of the local government administration in Nigeria. If you look at what happened yesterday, aside the yesterday election, there's been history of local government election in Lagos where PDP had participated, and we have rarely seen your party win seats. How can this trend change?
Yoruba man is incapable of showing.
First of all, if I may, I would like to address some of the things raised by Mr. Balogun. First of all, I had a collation agent that you will not allow.
Hold on a little bit for a moment. There seems to be some interruptions, audio interruptions in your connection. We'll fix it in a moment. But let me bring Mr. Balariwa. You wanted to react to some of the things Mr. Balogun said. I saw you trying to...
Yes, Mr. Balogun was trying to play down an allegation that the evidence has been substantiated, right, for the world to see. And I still want to remind him that that information, that piece of information he's looking at is not more than what Channel TV have just shown him on here, and I think he should be worried. He should be worried. Let us assume that it was APC that was not represented on the ballot paper yesterday. Will the election still go ahead in Lagos State? I leave the answer to his conscience and to the conscience of Lysec, whom we've worked with almost 3 times weekly in the last 10 weeks.
Have you been able to lay this complaint to, as the chairman of the party, to Lysec?
Yeah, we've gotten through to them. We've been communicating with them, and
officially, or verbally.
We've done that verbally, and I think they will be hearing from us officially tomorrow. We need to avoid going there anyhow so that we don't get arrested again for coming to complain that our party name did not appear on the ballot paper. We don't want our members to be agitated. So what we did was to go back home, calm our members down, to tell them that we're working on this and this is going to get sorted.
Let me bring back Mr. Thompson. I guess that audio interruption has been sorted. Now, please go ahead with your thought.
As I was saying, before I address the issue of popularity you mentioned, I'd like to respond to a few of the statements made by Mr. Balogun. The first one was that I did not have a coalition agent. That is not true. I did have a coalition agent. But however, when the process of the election, where we are meant to do the vote counting, is moved from the LASEC coalition center to the local council office, how do you expect it to be free and fair? My agent, coalition agent, was refused entry into the office. So no, I did not have one. He was refused entry into the office. When you're number 2, when you then say we make baseless excuses when a politician loses an election, this is true. But sir, I also have evidence, video evidence, which I have just sent into Sheon. I don't know if you can put it up now or at some point, I don't know, but I have the video evidence, which I will also be posting on social media platforms. Even besides that, there's a lot going on the social media platform as it is at the moment, of where agents are pressing ballot papers on behalf of the APC, blatantly, with no fear, in the open. How can you say that we have nothing to cry and talk about?
What does the future hold for? Yeah, so I was asking you to react to the future of your party in an election like this. I mean, we've seen situations similar to this in the past.
I think it's two-way. From a PDP perspective, prior to this election, we took a turn to be very inclusive. One of the things we did was, in the local government election, the forms purchased for councillorship and state chairmanship election were drastically reduced. If you compare that to what the APC candidates paid for local government election nomination paper, in the millions of naira, ours was in the thousands. So there was a conscious decision to make sure that it was more about the youth going forward. So that alone shows the trajectory in which the People's Democratic Party is going in the future. On the second side, I think for as long as the state is allowed to conduct the local government elections, nothing's going to change, because you cannot buy the hand that feeds you. However you want to change it from the inside, you know you cannot afford to do what they ask you not to do. So you have to move it away from Lagos or whatever state's power to conduct local elections, and maybe possibly give it to INEC as it's being proposed with the electoral bill.
Thank you so much, Olumide Thompson, who contested for the Etios chairmanship position on the platform of the PDP. Thank you so much for your thoughts tonight, and I wish you the very best for the future. Let me get your final thoughts, Mr. Balaniwa. Where do you go from here, and what do you see for local government administration in Nigeria?
To be honest, let me first accept the warm congratulations greetings from Mr. Babatunde Balogun. We accept and welcome your congratulatory message. We made an attempt to throw a dent at the big glass covering Lagos, and I'm sure that we have thrown that dent. And let me just assure you, we are not tired. We're going back to the drawing table. We're going to rejig our structure, and we are coming back strong. On the area where we have been cheated, we're not going to let it lie down. We are going to go for it. We're going to go for it legally within the ambit of the law. And I can assure you that we're going to come back to this for this stronger in the nearest future.
Thank you, Mr. Balogun.
Thank you.
Let me allow Mr. Balogun for his parting words. The challenge has been thrown at you and the APC, Mr. Balogun. YPP say is coming back. PDP does not believe that there can be level playing field. And these have, some of these issues raised have far-reaching implications on local government administration in Nigeria. Let me get your parting words and your reaction to this.
Okay, the local government, the future of local government administration in Nigeria. First of all, APC in Lagos State as a party that is proactive is resetting the parameters for grassroots development. We want to ensure that most of the people who became our candidates, who have won this election now, they've gone through a process. During the screening, we were really about looking for people who have visions for what they want to do in local government. It's not just going there to govern. You must show that you have a sense of creativity. Nigeria has become a country that, of course, relies on only one, that's oil, only one means of revenue. And we want to be proactive. As a local government, you must be able to generate revenue for development of the grassroots. There are some areas in Lagos State here that are suitable, that are if they are able, and they will be good for cultivation of rice, for instance, like in Mota. The local government chairman in Mota must put in place rice production projects. Some must do things like greenhouse. They will excel in that if they do that. Greenhouse, they produce agricultural products. And there are a lot of others. We went through the screening, and we look for people with this kind of thing before they emerge out of that screening as a successful candidate. Also, lastly, about the party YPP, they mentioned about what they were trying to do in terms of producing something about, I think I missed that point, really. I missed that point last, but I think it's one of the things that we should try to do as a party. We must think about the future of this country, think about what we can do to, in Lagos. What we are trying to do is to complement the state government performances and activities.
All right.
The governor of Lagos State has been phenomenal. He has been working day and night.
Mr. Balogun, we need to leave it at that.
The chairman must be able to complement his efforts.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Babatunde Balogun. That is chairman of the APC in Lagos. Thank you so much for your thoughts.